I'd like to thank you all for coming today and for making such a wonderful occasion. It's such a great honour to have been asked to be Ed's best man. Now, I really should take this opportunity to dig at all of Ed's skeletons and past misdemeanours. Unfortunately, I can't, because as party to many of these events, I'd simply be incriminating myself. And also, one day Ed will be my best man, so I can't give him any cause for retaliation. But seriously, I've actually given this lots of thought. I need to be careful. So it's tradition at weddings for the bride to wear something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. But I think in the age of gender equality, that the groom should receive the same. So, Ed, let's take it away. So let's start with something old. Here's a picture of Ed's trusty Peugeot 205. It's a modern classic, some might say. So he spent many an hour in this car, most of which were trying to get it started. But yeah, by all accounts, he spent as much time trying to get his and Jenny's relationship started in the glitzy and glamorous establishment that we all know and love, called Rosie's. But as soon as the relationship got going, it ran as smoothly as Ed's ever reliable French motor. So, for good fortune for the rest of the day and for the rest of your life, I present to you this model Peugeot 205. So, next up is something new. Now, I feel like I should let you all know that Ed is giving up his current job in pursuit of a new career. Given his levels of involvement and enjoyment in the organisation of this wedding, he's giving up his current job and becoming a wedding planner. He's really found his true vocation. Ed, I've even had some business cards made up for you. There they are. It's Edward's Events. Take these. And you can hold these. Good fortune. There they are. So he's asked me to let you all know that he's available for weddings, christenings, and bar mitzvahs. I'll be handing out the business cards in the car park later on for those of you who are getting married. So yeah, there's too many people to mention. I could actually kind of mention some people's names. Anyway, now, so let me turn to something borrowed. So this harks back to a story of when Ed was at university. It was actually his final day of university to be more precise. It was the all-important day of Ed's big final recital. He'd been studying towards this day for 4 years. So 2 hours before the big showcase, you look at me really concerned here. 2 hours before the big showcase, I received a phone call from Ed, and he said to me in a slightly agitated manner, he said, "Joe, what boxer shorts are you wearing?" I hesitantly replied, "Well, Ed, I'm not really sure. Why?" And he said he demanded that I then checked what boxer shorts I was wearing. So I did, and then described them to him. He then shouted to me, "Joe, you're wearing my lucky boxer shorts!" So Ed, after 10 long years, I'm sure to you something borrowed. When he shouted that to me on the phone, his language was actually much more colourful, but this is a family show. So next up is something blue. Now, what of this blue? I know what you're all thinking. It's probably a story from Ed's past, or one of the many blue stories from Ed's stag do. Maybe it's a story of Ed and I getting chained up naked together on a boat in Prague. No, that's just a wild unsubstantiated accusation, one which I can neither confirm nor deny. So instead, I'm simply going to give you the blue Smartie that you stuck in your nose as a kid. So Ed actually hasn't eaten a blue Smartie since. The day after the original incident, Mum found Ed separating all the blue Smarties away from the others. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you know, as many of you know, Ed is frequently heard saying the phrase, "Wow, this is the best thing ever." It's become something he says it all day, and it's kind of become something of a catchphrase. So Ed will no doubt be saying for the rest of his life that this has been the best day ever, or the best wedding ever. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here today to tell you why this has been the best wedding ever. That's plain to see. I'm here today to tell you why Ed is the best brother ever. So, Ed and I are arguably the most competitive brothers of all time. But it's not one-upmanship, it's more of a healthy, playful competition. Whether we were playing football, rollerblading, or simply racing up the stairs to put our pyjamas on, Ed would actually often let me win. That's his version of events. So, I think Ed has always been a winner. From perhaps gaining the highest mark in the world in his grade 6 singing examination. But I think in everybody's minds here today, his greatest win has been capturing Jenny's heart.
Yeah, yeah.
So Ed is not only a winner, but he's won many friends and much respect through his teaching career. Long before his career, I personally benefited from his teaching ability on many occasions. An example that comes to mind, and a personal favourite of my grandma's, is about him helping me pass the audition to get into the Cathedral choir. So Ed quickly identified that my inability to roll my R's would prevent me from getting into the choir. He'd already taught me the key skill of harmonisation, but recognised that, he placed heavy emphasis on the all-important skill of rolling my R's. For weeks, my parents were reassured that Ed and I weren't up to mischief because they could locate us at any point around the house for non-stop practicing. I know, Grandma, you liked it this way. That's what we're doing all the time, for weeks on end. So Ed's dedication towards helping pass the audition is one of many examples of Ed's caring and giving nature towards his family. Ed's capacity for love and constant support all those years ago has evolved and grown. There's no doubt that Ed has and will continue to support Jenny as they continue their journey together. Finally, I want to read you out a letter that was received by somebody sitting in this room in 1997. Dear Stuart Smith, quite by chance, I came to your evensong in St Paul's Cathedral on Tuesday and would like to tell you how much I enjoyed the singing. I was sitting under the dome and it all came across beautifully. But what I especially want to say is that the boys' solo in the Mendelsohn anthem was the finest I've ever heard in an English cathedral. I hope that you've captured his voice on tape for posterity. This is amongst the first of many acknowledgements of just how talented Ed really is. And yet, not once has he let any of these flattering comments go to his head. People's admiration for Ed's talent is only surpassed by Ed's admiration for Jenny's tenacity and her achievements as her vocation as a teacher. Today we're here to celebrate the love and marriage of Jenny and Ed. I think it's clear to see that these two were made for each other. So I'd like to invite you all to be upstanding and to raise a glass to not just the best brother ever, not just the best wedding ever, but to the best couple ever, To Jenny and Ed.